welcome back. This is episode 14 of my GGBO build. Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest. I did my editing process for this entire thing, and the original plan was to include not only what I'm doing in this video, but also my entire staining process. Biggest problem I had, I edited all the footage, and I could not, for the life of me, get it down less than 47 minutes. I did everything I could. And that was even with stuff at times 20. And that's way too long, in my opinion. Like, I'm honest, I'm amazed that people watch, 20-minute videos sometimes, you know what I mean? And I'm getting stuff that's like half an hour. So, I sat there and I'm really struggling with it. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And I looked at my plan for my social media posts. So because of the different stages of this, I was going to release the video and then with a few photos, and then I was going to put separate social media posts explaining the entire process, because obviously I did quite a lot and there's a lot of detail. And I sat there and thought, well, hang on a minute. If you're doing separate social posts, why not do separate video posts for each stage? So that's the idea that I came up with. And hence why you can tell that it's a very different day, because my hair's down. I decided, you always see me with my hair up. It's like very rare that I ever have it down while I'm in the shed. So I thought, why not? So yeah, so this is actually me re-recording my intro to this episode 14. You will see a lot of crossovers. I will explain everything. However, for this part of the, for this particular episode, I actually make myself a few truss rod covers. So I mentioned it at the end of the previous episode that I looked at the scrap piece of wood and I picked one particular part. Then I looked at it again and again and again. I found a few really nice pieces of wood. The only problem with Zebrano, really pretty, hard to choose. So I get that done, and I also get my bridge ground done. So I'm going to roll the footage of me doing the truss rod covers and the bridge ground. So I'll talk to you soon. So as I say, I'm back using the Moto-Saw, and now I've got a lot more confident using it. I'm actually quite happy with myself. So this is the truss rod cover that I was talking about. So this is the one that I've based my design off of. Very simple, very basic, but it'll complement really well when you consider this particular piece of wood. So I'm going to try and angle it right. So you can see I've got a piece here that's got some really nice figuring, and I've got like 3 along this bottom edge. A little bit hard for yourself there, there you go. So one there, and another one just here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut all 3 of these out. Sorry, all 4 of these. Can't maths. Get all 4 of these cut out. Finish shaping them and everything. And then after that, I'm going to drill the bridge ground hole, but I might do that in a separate bit of footage because it's getting a little bit late today. Yeah. We're doing a lot of editing, so it's like, late in the day for me. So I'm going to hook my tunes up and I'm going to cut this these truss rod covers out. didn't go too bad. Ow. Sorry, this bit keeps catching in my hair. We'll tidy it up. Anyway, definitely got a lot more confident with this thing since episode 1. But, you know, they're only rough shaped. Let's see if you can tell. Yeah, you can still see my line there. So they're only rough shaped for now. I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Because obviously I'm getting to the point now where you can see these little bits. Obviously it's getting very, very close to my hands being near this. So I'm not going to risk that. So I think I'm going to have to call it quits with the Moto-Saw for definite. I think I might rasp them. Because I don't actually have my sander or anything on me today. I'm going to try rasping one of them off camera. Just see what happens. But yeah, you'll probably be able to tell like I wasn't able to choose between the figuring, which is why I just decided to do 4. Probably gonna have to reduce the thickness down anyway, but yeah. So you can see like all the different figuring on those 4 pieces. Like it was really hard to decide which one I wanted, so I made 4. Anyway, I'm gonna pause the footage right here, and I'm just gonna get this out of the way, figure out what I'm gonna do. So I'll talk to you soon. All right, so I did a little experiment. I was looking through them, and I've realised this one a little bit boring. I mean, especially when you compare it to that one. All right, try and look at my camera at the same time. Yeah, I mean, that's literally just straight lines, whereas that you've got the actual figuring of the Zebrano, and it's the same in these ones. So I use this as like a little experiment to see what probably the best method would be. Now, like I say, I don't have any tools on me today, but what I want to do, I'm going to try and get them shaped down as close to the line as I can. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is my first truss rod cover. I haven't drilled any holes on the guitar itself, so I don't necessarily have to use it. It was just a cool idea that came in my head, but I reckon I'm going to use it, to be fair. And what I can do is, as well, I've realised, once I get one of them shaped exactly how I want it, I could probably use a... No, actually, no, that's too small. Sorry, I was going to say to use a router, but this is a lot smaller than that switch cover, so it's not safe to do. Anyway, I tried Shinto Rasping it, but it was really awkward to do, and I think I scratched my bench more than I did the actual wood. These things happen. I did some... What did I have here? So I used some 80 grit paper to do that one, but obviously I didn't have it secured to the bench, so what I've done here is super glue and masking tape, stuck it to the bench, and I'm literally just going to be sanding it down. So this is a 60 grit paper, because what I found when I used the Shinto Rasp, it chipped out a little bit, so it was a bit too coarse for it. Anyway, so enough of that. Shut my tubes on. I'm going to try and shape these as best I can before I call it quits for the day. Easy way to do this? Yeah. But I'm enjoying doing this? Hell yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna carry on now. actually went pretty decent. As I say, definitely could have made that easier, but they're all very different. They're all not, you know, perfectly shaped to how the original one was, but they'll work. So that's that first one there. That's that one there. So as I say, they're not going to be perfect, but as I've stated a few times, nothing's perfect on this build. You know, there's a few messed up areas, but I kind of like this, and it adds, yeah, it adds to the effect. So what I'll end up doing, I'll sand those up to 320, same as I've done the body and everything else. And then I'll get to staining them, but first, I need to tackle the bridge ground wire, so I'm going to get cracking on that. So, talk to you in a sec. So, I'm over on this side of the bench. Majority of the work now is probably going to be on this one, but I want to test the lighting, to be brutally honest, because it's the first time I've used it since getting the whole blackout blinds done. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is, I'm going to drill the hole for my bridge ground. So what I've done is I've just got a piece of wire here. That's how it's going to go in the underneath the bridge stud. That's the bit for the obsidian wire kit. Now I was looking at it afterwards, and the funny thing is the cavity, luckily, if you listen, so you can hear it thick there. I don't actually have that far to go, so you can hear it like that. So what I've done is I made myself a little mark. Yep, I made myself a little mark. And I'm hoping and praying that this is going to work. I mean, no matter what, I know that if I, you know, depending on the angle that I go, it's not going to go through the top of the body, back of the body anyway. Let's get this hole drilled, because this is really all I've got left to do, so bear with. That worked, although annoyingly, broke a 2mm drill bit. Oh well. To be fair, that's not the first one that's broke, you know. When I had to fix the messed up output jack hole, I kind of broke another one, but yeah, these things happen. Thankfully, everything's already pre-drilled, so I'm not that worried about it. But anyway, let's just test this. So it went through. It was a bit awkward. This is the first bridge ground. You're not really going to be able to see it there, but you might. There you go. You can just about see him right about there. So the weird thing for me is, I've mentioned before, I use EMG systems on majority of my guitars. This is the only one that doesn't have it, because I wanted to do something different. And, well, with EMG stuff, I don't have to have a bridge ground, because it's all active. So yeah, well, that worked. Yeah, it's exactly as I planned, and I have more than enough wire. Probably going to end up trimming that down a little bit, but you can see it. See if I can get you in a closer view so you can see. There you go, you can just about make it out there. So there we go, bridge round, done. That was nice and easy. Right, I'm going to take this wire out, get myself set up, ready to do some staining. So, I'll talk to you soon. Well, as you'll see in the footage there, I managed to get the truss rod covers cut. I'm really struggling to pick which one I want to use, and I got the bridge ground hole drilled. That was easy because of how close the cavity was, but I still ended up breaking a drill bit. Things happen. Luckily, as I said, pretty much everything's already drilled, so it's not the end of the world that I've lost that. I really should think about bridge grounds a lot more. It's because of using active EMGs, like I don't really think about it. It's always in the back of my mind. I used to try and like tuck them away in guitars that I'd modified, but the worst one ever was my Explorer. Try and tuck that away and get the battery in, it didn't want to work, so I just ended up cutting the thing off. So, yeah, bridge grounds, really need to think about them, like have them in the forefront rather than the back of my mind. But in regards to the truss rod covers, so I'm not going to record me doing those for this particular video, for this video series, sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do them off camera because there's a lot of work, so I need to reduce the thickness down. Because of it being the 8mm cap, they're coming up too high, so they need to be reduced down. But what I'm thinking of doing is, once they're all stained and done, I'm going to put them up on my socials, and I'm going to ask your opinion, because I guarantee I'm going to need your help to pick which one I should use. So that could be on my socials, but I will post it in the GGBO forum as well. So please, I'll label them 1, 2, and 3. Just write a comment, 1, 2, 3. Let me know which one you pick. And by the end of it, this will literally be like the last stage of the build. I will put your choice on there because I can't choose between them. And that is all I have to say for this one. So the next stage of this, I do talk about the lighting difference for where the bridge ground was done. This was actually recorded right after each other, so it was on the same day. So some of the continuity might not be right, but can you do? This is what happens when you do a lot of stuff and then all of a sudden edit and keep thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I'll be able to do this in one video. Yeah, that didn't happen. So keep your eyes peeled for episode 15, which will be me starting the staining process. And I loved this entire thing, but I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you. If you did enjoy the video though, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, possibly subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends, because any help growing this channel is greatly appreciated. Now, every time I do these videos, the link to the GGBO website is also in the description, along with my social medias. So I got my Facebook and Instagram on there. Please go to the GGBO forum and support, not just myself. Like, there are some amazing builders doing some amazing stuff, and they're also supportive, so they deserve all the credit in the world. And that's all from me in this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next.